weapon! Get him on the ground!
Over the past 3 years, the so-called Fox Kitten campaign targeted numerous companies around the world, ranging from the IT sector to the oil and gas, aviation, government, and security sectors. In some cases, the hackers were able to exploit vulnerabilities in a short period of time. According to the report, the hackers developed and used infrastructure that would allow them to control and access their targets in the long term. They were able to use this technique to steal valuable information from targeted companies. However, researchers said that this could also be used to spread malware such as Zero Clear and Dustman. According to ZDNet, both of these malware are designed to delete as much data from hacked devices as possible. ZDNet points out that the report dispels the notion that Iranian cyber hackers aren't as sophisticated as hackers in Russia, China, or North Korea.
Ready, set, go!
These sorts of attacks are becoming more frequent, they're here to stay, and we have to work in partnership with business to secure networks.
Federal officials tonight now saying the attack appears to be the work of an Eastern European criminal organization. Russian intelligence has been known to cooperate with Eastern European cyber criminals in the past.
Newsweek reports that China is increasing its pressure on Taiwan and the Biden administration with an aggressive new tactic. Taiwan's military showed that on March 29th, 10 Chinese warplanes invaded Taiwanese airspace to the island's south and west, while Japan reports that another 2 Chinese planes cut through its southern airspace to skirt Taiwan's eastern airspace. A Taiwanese official said that the move was designed to practice cutting Taiwan off from Japanese and American intervention if China carries through on its threats to invade Taiwan.
They are now starting to develop those capabilities that could reach the United States and its NATO allies.
But that's not all Russia is up to. Satellite images revealing the persistent buildup of Russian bases along its northern coastline, part of what a U.S. State Department official called a military challenge. Close to Alaska at Providenya and Wrangel Island are 2 new radar stations, with stationed in Andir a quick reaction alert force of bombers and jets. West in Kotelny, a thin strip of land has seen over 7 years the slow growth of a large airstrip.
Chinese importers of Australian fruit, meat and honey have reportedly already decreased or dropped orders in anticipation there'll be more sanctions on Australian products. And to help us understand where we are right now in Australian-Chinese relations is Professor Joe Siracusa, political analyst from Curtin University. Professor, good to see you. I've read some pretty scary headlines over the past week. I guess the main question is, how close are we to war with China?
So, let's find out why we're in this conflict. And the other thing, too, is Australia's going to have to start thinking why China is a threat. It's not a threat because it's a rising power. That's a very lazy answer for a lot of lazy people. China is a declining communist party. It's been going for 72 years as leader of China, a little longer as a party. And the Soviet Communist Party lasted 74 years, and the Chinese Communist Party leadership is terrified they're going to go the way of the Soviet Union.
A statement to kick off Police Week that reads, "This year, we also recognize that in many of our communities, especially black and brown communities, there is a deep sense of distrust towards law enforcement." Now that statement during Police Week, come on.
Speaking of dangerous political power kegs that can explode into world war, here's some more videos about simmering tensions that are putting world peace at risk.
To the south in Gaza, the Hamas militant group released a video claiming to show the rockets being launched. In all, more than 40 were fired, most into Israeli communities in the south of the country.
And servicemen in France have published a second open letter to President Emmanuel Macron. It accuses him of making concessions to Islamism and warns that France's survival is at stake.
Now, we have seen attacks on critical infrastructure over the past 5 years, but nothing of this size and scope.
Colonial Pipeline bringing in the cybersecurity firm FireEye, the same firm that identified a massive software breach at SolarWinds back in December. That hack impacting several U.S. government agencies. The company now saying its primary focus is the safe and efficient restoration of our service, and we're working diligently to minimize disruption to our customers.
And all the planners I know in Pentagon say we'd lose a conventional war with the Chinese because they have closer lines of communication and missiles. And so the war would quickly go to the nuclear level, in which case there's no winner. So I think Australia ought to start taking a more nuanced approach to this and ask the United States straight out, are we still working with a one China policy?
Folks, they blocked the street. The line went all the way back. That guy in blue there was clearly angry. In the video, you can only see one uniformed officer. The question is, why would Plano police allow BLM activists to take over a major thoroughfare? You don't have any right in this country to block traffic like that.
Russia is seeing the Arctic ice melt fast and filling the gap with a military buildup, some of it on North America's doorstep, not seen since the Cold War.
After 30 years at the helm of the Israeli space security program, and after receiving 3 Israeli security awards, retired Israeli general and respected professor Chaim Eshed is now unveiling that yes, there are aliens among us, yes, Israel has made contact with them, and no, humanity is not ready for them.
Nervous consumers could drain gas supplies, which would also push prices higher. Lindsay?
Just in time for the summer.
We will be in for some very dark times ahead. And to think, this is what Joe Biden and his band of communists actually want.
I'm sure you'll be happy to know that I have notified your local draft boards and told them that you are now all eligible for military service.